Hey folks, welcome back to Markelly Farm. We're going to do a little shop project today. Going to do some welding. We're going to make a project that's going to make our life a little bit easier here. Join us. We'll have some fun in the shop. Let me apologize ahead of time for the little breeze, but I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep it from getting too hot today. So if you've been following along, you know we've been doing some brush hogging lately. We got the back done here. The issue I run into is when I want to do this side, all these implements are in the way and there's grass growing up between them. I usually just have somebody help me, like last time we mowed back here or brush hogged. My buddy Matt was here and I just had a chain on the loader bucket and he just helped me move him out of the way real quick, chained him up for me. But I don't always have somebody here, so we're going to try to make a little implement or a little addition we can put on the tractor to move these by myself and do it a lot quicker. Now normally we just run around the chain around where the top link hooks here, and we pick it up and we move it over out of the way, and then we'll mow this here and then we'll come back through and put them back. But using this top link here, we're going to make a little hook that comes off the bucket to lift all these implements up and move them real quick. See the top link pin here, and all of them have one. This one here is kind of enclosed. So we're going to use this and I'll show you what we're going to make. So if you remember way back in the day when we made this piece for the bucket, this is what we're going to utilize. I went to my metal supplier downtown. I bought a piece of hitch tubing that fits inside the receiver, and they also had this big drop piece of 3/4 inch plate steel. So we're going to cut a big hook out of this to utilize. We'll probably utilize this hook looking thing they already have up there and just cut a piece out of that. But we'll cut a slot in here. We'll build a big hook out here to lift our implements with. So let's get this party started. So we're going to make about a 1 inch wide hook. We're going to leave this taper on it. We're going to cut this radius, and then we're going to cut these lines all the way through, because we want this to go inside the tubing. We need about 1.5 inches to fit inside this tubing, so that's what we allowed here. So let's get this cut out. It's a little thick for the plasma, so we're probably just going to use the torch. Well, it's not a terrible freehand cut, but it'll work. Usually I like to clamp like a straight edge along there and just drag the torch along the straight edge, but we got her done either way. You can save yourself a lot of grinding underneath where we just cut. Just take a hammer, chip this slag off that goes underneath. It just comes right off. Like that. Now it's a lot easier to clean up. There's our hook. We didn't have to clean the whole length because that's inside the tube, but we cleaned up what's showing. So now we need to notch our tube out. I could just weld it in the center of this tube, but that'll look kind of hokey and unfinished. So we're going to notch this tube in such a manner where it closes up these gaps right here, and it'll be welded solid, and it'll also strengthen this up a little bit right here. So let's get that measured out and marked. Now, I don't know how well you can see it. We're going to leave the center of this 3/4 of an inch wide. Then we're going to cut, we've measured back 2 inches. We're going to cut on this angle right here, and then we're going to cut right at the width of our tubing back to there, and then we'll bend this side of the tubing this way to where it meets the middle. Same thing on this side. We'll bend this over to where it meets the middle. This is going to end up a little bit longer because once you bend these over, these are shorter length than this is. So all you got to do is just trim a little bit off of this to make it line up. So I'll cut it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we got this side done. We got to flop it over to the exact same thing to the other side. Now that we got both sides cut, all you got to do is get a little persuasion. It's going to take 2 hands, but just got to beat these ends down. All right, got it all together. So these aren't long enough to worry about, so we're just going to go ahead and weld all this. We'll tack it up in the center, and buzzer done. Oh, we got it all welded up, so now we're just going to clean it up a little bit with the flapper wheel, knock the berries off of it, and then we can give it a shot. Well, folks, there is our hook. Either a decent welder or a good grinder. Let me know in the comments what you think I am. So we're going to throw this in the bucket before we cut it to length. See what kind of length we need, because the bottom of the bucket sticks out a little further than the top. You can see that here. So we won't want to be hitting the frame before we can hook. So we might have to leave the hook out a little bit. We're going to go give that a shot. So our box blade sticks out the furthest because the bucket hits the edge of the blade. So we'll gauge it off of this one. The other ones won't be any problem. So we'll go ahead and mark right here with our pencil, and we'll mark where the hole goes. We'll go in and cut this baby off. Got her cut the length. Now, a little trick I like to do when I go to the steel supply guy is if they have a piece that's already short, I buy the whole piece, because I avoid a cut charge, because they charge you to cut whatever length you want. So the price of the cut charge, I pretty much got this extra piece of steel. If we want to make some kind of special hitch, we already have a piece. So basically this piece of tube was free. And now we just got to drill a hole. The drill press vise and everything locks, so we can get it nice and straight and level. We just got to go all the way through. This is a pilot hole. We'll come back after this one with a bigger bit. Got our little hole drilled, so without changing the setup, I'm going to swap this bit out that way we stay in the exact center, and then we'll drill it out to 5/8 is the size that we need. Sweet. So because we were able to cut this short, we had a happy little accident where our hook goes in about 1 inch past our hole. We drilled through the whole thing. So that's going to give it a lot more pulling power. We're never going to pull this out. But what I want to do now is I want to stand it up, get the welder on the inside, and we'll run a bead on the end of the hook back in here to stabilize it in the tube this way. Not that it'll move around much, but you never know, and that'll take care of it if it did want to. All right, we got our hook. Let's say we go give it a try before we worry about putting any paint on it. Well, we got everything back in a nice, neat little row. There's no grass growing up through it. We even used it to park the trailers. Works slick. Well, there's only one thing left to do. There we go. We're going to call it the Happy Hooker. It's going to serve us well. Well, that was a fun little project that's going to serve us well in the future. We're going to make good use out of that. So, hope you enjoyed it too, and we appreciate you guys coming hanging out with us today. And we hope you come back real soon. So, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys.